Yeah, the girls are in Vegas right now. So
Lucky them.
yeah, I know. I got big FOMO today. So yeah. So there are my headphones. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit the 10-second thingy.
Did it.
Good. Welcome, episode 385, Super Bowl LV3I. What is this? 58?
Yep.
Sure. Let's go with that.
That is crazy. It's almost 10 years since 50 already. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's how math works.
Is it? Thanks, Finn. You know those
It's
accounting
almost
classes are going to
15
pay off.
years since 45, which is the one that I. And it's almost 20 years since 40. That's I'm not gonna. Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Super Bowl
Yeah.
40 was.
I felt so old when I saw Super Bowl 42 was 15 years ago. 16 years ago.
16, yeah.
Like,
Super Bowl
fuck.
40 was the worst Super Bowl I remember watching ever.
Yeah, definitely up there.
40
That
was the Steeler one, right?
Yeah,
Steelers,
Steelers and
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything from that game other than
Matt
the
Hasselbeck.
questionable holding call.
Antoine Randall almost won.
Right. Hines Ward won the MVP that year.
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, who else were you giving it to?
No, that's why my point.
Yeah.
He did win it.
Because he's caught the ball for the Randall L catch.
Which made Ben win the other one, even though it probably should have been Santonio Holmes.
Right.
Right. It was Ben because he was the one who let it. I mean, if you really wanted to give someone the MVP in that, you could have just given it to Jerome Bettis and said, here, we're going to Otis Anderson you and just give you this and now go away.
But did he have that good of a game? I honestly don't remember.
No. Nobody had that good of a game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Willie Parker.
Willie Parker had the big run.
Yeah, how was it? That's who they should have given it to.
The Rolling Stones were the halftime show of that game.
Right.
I remember that. I think.
Josh Brown had a 47-yard field goal to open the scoring.
He should have got the MVP.
Ben Roethlisberger was 9 for 21 for 123 yards and 2 picks.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game.
That's
He had a
awful.
22.6 quarterback rating.
That's really, really, really bad.
And on the other side, Hasselbeck was 26 for 49 for 273, a touchdown and a pick, with a 67.8.
That's okay.
Yeah, but you also wasn't that the year Alexander won MVP?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the year we blew the Seattle game for home field advantage. And Tiki Barber's chance of winning an MVP.
Willie Parker was 10 for 93 with a touchdown.
That was Eli's first playoff run.
Correct.
They got
his first full season as a starter.
Right.
Right. That was the year we lost to Carolina.
Right.
Correct. Who had just went to the Super Bowl?
No, 2 years prior.
Steve Smith
Correct.
in the Snow Angel. Was that the Snow Angel celebration that year?
Probably.
I guess Hines Ward did deserve the MVP. 5 for 123 in the touchdown.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. Wait. 5 for 123. And how many yards did Ben throw for?
123. Keep in mind, 43 of Antoine Randall Ward
that's
was
right.
from Antoine
Okay,
Randall.
yep.
So he only threw the ball to one person?
No, I just said, don't forget, 43 of his yards were from Antoine Randall.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right.
Antoine Randall had 3 for 22. Cedric Wilson 1 for 20, and Willie Parker had 1 for 1.
Got it.
Right. But
Okay.
he did have 5 receptions, so there was only 4 other receptions.
That threw me. I was like, those are the same number. I've never seen that in my life. But a lot of number talk here on the first 10 minutes of the show.
We're not even talking about the teams that are in the Super Bowl.
Nope. We're just talking about numbers. That was a show. Anybody ever watch that show?
Numbers?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
No.
Is it like...
I think it was supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes, but with math.
Oh,
I remember this show.
I never watched it, but I
And
remember.
yeah, I never watched it, but I remember like the commercials for it and thinking it looked
Yeah,
like
it
the
was
stupidest
like,
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Jim Nance would always talk because I think it was a CBS show.
Yeah, it's a CBS show. Jim Nance would talk about it all the time.
Right.
It'll probably be the show that was on after 60 Minutes, so we'd have to
Right.
talk about it every Sunday.
Right,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Exactly.
You always remember the show that's on. It's always 60 Minutes and some random show that nobody's ever heard of
Right.
after that.
And then the Fox one is just Simpsons
Family
and
Guy.
Family
and
Guy
the
are
Family
coming
Guy,
on
yeah.
after. Yeah. It's,
Gonna help. Animation domination.
Domination.
yeah. Animation dominate. Yeah. Animation domination.
You mentioned Fox. What's your guys' opinion on them just throwing Greg Olson and telling him to go fuck himself?
Unfortunately, you knew that was happening, but I think he should still be on the number 1 crew, just because of his chemistry with Kevin, and just it could only help Tom Brady.
You want to have a 3-man booth?
Yeah, even though they wouldn't have done it, but they did it
Put
when
Olson on the sideline.
they did it 20 years ago. They did it 20 years ago when Troy first came, and it was Collinsworth, him, and
Well, they're thinking more along the lines of Romo. They're
right.
gonna have
Well,
a 3-man booth at CBS.
yeah.
I'll be honest, and we've talked about this. I like Fox's second guy better than Kevin, Joe Davis. So if you put Olsen with him, I think that would be a really good.
Who was he with? He
He
wasn't with Vilma, no.
No,
Albert
no,
was
I don't
with
think he was
Kenny
with
Albert.
Vilma.
I heard Vilma too much this season. That's why I'm thinking
Yeah.
of Vilma.
Who was he with, Danny?
I want to say Charles Davis, unless he went to CBS.
Or was it Moose? It might be Moose.
No, Moose got demoted to like the 4th team.
Really?
Yeah. He was like the pair. He was like the pair after Albert and
Jonathan Vilmer.
Chris Myers. Joe Davis and Chris Myers.
He's the
And
sideline guy.
Darryl Johnson and Pam
Oh.
Oliver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you were right. I'm sorry.
I thought
As
It
you can
was
tell-
Burkhart, Olson, Andrews, Rinaldi,
Mhm.
Davis. Myers would fill in for Davis
For baseball.
for baseball.
right.
And also Adam Amin, the guy who did.
He does it with Charlotte.
Yeah, he's usually the guy with Charlotte, but because of the switch for a couple weeks, for whatever reason,
Right.
I guess they were mixing and matching because of baseball. It looks like weeks 5 through 9 is basically when they had the switch.
Yeah, because 5 through 9 is October.
But no one covers for Burkhart?
No, I guess not. Because he only does like
He does the
post.
pregame, postgame. He doesn't do the main. He's not the main guy on baseball.
No, I know that.
But he's still gonna be on site. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, but didn't they also change up baseball? Aren't they like not weekend? Don't they not do weekends anymore?
No, they still do weekends.
They don't do weekend playoff games anymore.
They
They do
definitely
plenty.
Well, it used to be a known that it was Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday for the World Series.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Kenny Albert is with
Vilma.
Vilma.
And Shannon Spike.
And then Mark Sanchez is on 15.
Yeah, we had him for a game this year too.
Kevin Kugler?
He wasn't. Sanchez wasn't.
Oh, Sanchez
Terrible.
isn't
I don't think Sanchez
Vilma, on the other hand,
stinks. I don't like Vilma at all.
Kenny Albert and Vilma called the Saints game, and I had to
Right.
shut that game off, even though because maybe we were getting blown out anyway. But still, I was so happy getting blown out because I got to shut the game off.
Vilma's the worst.
Yeah.
Kenny Albert's fine, but Vilma's the worst.
Kenny Albert does literally every sport.
Right.
In the days too, so can't go wrong with Kenny Albert.
It is amazing Kenny Albert's work schedule and Iron Eagle's work schedule.
Yeah. Yo.
Because Kenny Albert does the Rangers, he does the Knicks on TV and on radio. Then he does TNT, right?
Right, he's the number one guy on TNT.
Then he does whatever. Then
Fox football game
Fox
is on.
football. Then I'm sure he's done Fox baseball every now and then.
I don't know who Iron Eagle's partner is on the Nets games.
That's Charles Davis.
He went off on that dude like 2 weeks ago. Did you hear that? That they were doing a game and he was like, I don't know. He didn't go off on him. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but he was like, apparently Iron Eagle explained something, and whoever his partner.
Oh no, that's old. That's old. They brought it back, and he clarified it was a joke.
It seemed pretty recently. Okay.
No, it was like 20 years ago. Yeah, I heard him on a podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, that was 100% manufactured, and I don't know why it's coming back today. I did that like 10, 15 years ago."
Kenny Albert's career started with the Baltimore Skip Jackets, just so you guys know.
Sounds like a great crew.
Minor league professional hockey team.
I know his brother does another NBA team.
He has a brother? There's another one?
Yeah. He's a broadcaster as well, but it must be crazy to be like, yeah, I'm the other Albert.
Right.
I'm the one nobody knows about.
It's like Cooper Manning.
Yeah.
So NFL on Fox since 94. Rangers since 95. Rangers radio since 95. Knicks fill-in TV guy since 09. All the Olympics he does.
Right.
all the Olympics.
I gotta read that book. You wrote a book a couple years ago.
It's actually a year ago, 2023. A Mike for All Seasons. It literally said when you search for him work schedule, like there was on December 30th, he worked the Seahawks game and the Kraken game all in one day. All on New Year's. That's right. Makes sense. He called the Winter Classic.
Oh. Does he
23 hours apart. So he called the Seahawks game on New Year's Eve. And then he called the Winter Classic the next day.
Right. He does do playoff hockey.
He's the number one guy on TNT.
Yeah.
Works too. I want to find out who the fuck is the hell's his brother? Brian Albert.
Never heard of him.
Brian Albert.
He does play-by-play for the radio of the Utah Jazz. I don't know. That was just a wild guess.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was just a wild guess.
I don't think he does anything.
Oh, I thought
he's just his last name is just Albert.
No, I'm pretty sure he did, and he must not do it anymore.
Imagine you have that voice, like you got the voice, but you're just like you're just an accountant or something.
This entire family was broadcasters. Because it literally says Kenny Albert, son of NBA sportscaster Marv Albert, nephew of sportcasters Al Albert and Steve Albert.
Oh, that might be what it was.
It was Marv's brothers, not Kenny's brothers.
My bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look like his brother does anything.
Okay, it makes sense. So I mixed them up, and that's
all right. Anyway,
listen, I will say this for Kenny Albert. He does a great job for being the guy that takes over for Doc Emmerich. It's not an easy role to fill.
Not an easy task.
Not at all.
That's going to be like that guy who takes over from Mike Breen eventually on ESPN.
Right. Oh, by the way, congratulations to him and Walt for 25 years on MSG together.
That was cool.
I didn't even realize.
I kind of call BS on the Knicks for being cheap. I guess it was because of wording, and they gave them the cheap ass jerseys, the screen print. But oh well.
Well, have you met the owner of that team? Have you seen the owner of that team?
Yeah,
It's not as nothing could ever get as bad as the Oakland A's giving a $50 bottle of wine to recovering alcoholic Miguel Cabrera.
right. We can never forget about that.
You can't forget that. So somebody brought that up at work the other day. I was like, it's just the best. It just is.
No one wants them.
So
That's the funniest and saddest thing.
it's the word. It really.
Because their franchise, like the history of the A's is a good, like, decent franchise, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
they won 3 World Series in a row.
right. That's what I'm saying. In the '70s, and they've always been a tough team. When they're good, they're like, it's a fun team to watch and root
And
for.
Oakland's always been like a staple, at least for our generation. Like, I know there were
Granted, they couldn't beat the Yankees ever, but
during our generation, yeah.
but they are an easy team to root for when they're good.
Yeah.
They never have anybody you don't want to root for on their team. It seems
Right, because they're all underdogs that are getting underpaid, and you're like, oh, okay. It's amazing they got to this point.
Like, you would think like, so it's similar to what the Coyotes are going through, right? With not having a building in Arizona. And
Yeah,
they're
what is
like,
going on with
where's
that?
the Suns? Why are the Suns not getting involved in this? Why is and the guy's like, I don't want to own that team. They don't make any money. Why would I want to own that team?
Right.
It's not super. I mean, it's similar, but it's not. Like, the Coyotes got kicked out of their building because they didn't pay.
Oakland's lease is up, and they don't want to build a new.
I know, but they're at least paying the rent.
And it's like MetLife Stadium. It's just like the Continental Airlines Arena, just collecting dust.
Right.
Well, you got to realize also their arena was
It
connected
would be
with
cool to go inside Continental Airlines Arena now after like.
So it's
15
gutted.
years.
My buddy works inside of it. It's gutted. A movie studio owns it.
Oh,
Well, that
They
it'd
makes
be
shoot.
still pretty cool.
They
Going
have a
back.
stage setups and stuff in there.
Oh,
My buddy Max that I grew up with does a lot of stage stuff inside there. They did a bunch of stuff with. I know the first Joker. They did a bunch of stuff with the Joaquin Phoenix one in there.
okay.
I don't know if they did it with the second one. Also, I haven't spoken to him in a
But
bit.
yeah, it would be funny just going back and you see 2007, 2008 like ads and everything else like
right.
that. Like,
Right. Like a
going
Frozen in
back in
Time
time.
zombie movie kind of thing.
Right.
You're hiding from the zombies. You're hoping they never come in there because nobody comes in there.
Because it just looks dreary, and it's just like, yep,
Right.
we're in just the middle of Jersey.
Like the Astrodome. Is the Astrodome still there?
Didn't they just implode it recently? No.
Maybe recently.
And that's the thing. They could. Oh, the parking lot for America is kind of there.
Right.
It is not demolished.
The Astrodome.
The Astrodome was declared non-compliant with fire code by the Houston Fire Department in 2008, and part of it were demolished in 2013 after several years of disuse. In 2014, it was listed as a National Register of Historic Places. So it cannot be demolished.
So it's a landmark. You can't knock it down.
Right. Isn't it right next to...
I don't know how close it is to Minute Maid or any.
No, it's nowhere near Minute Maid Park. I know that for a fact that it's nowhere near. It's next to where the Texans play. I think the parking lot. It's like, it's basically,
Which is NRG, I think.
Yeah, the NRG.
it's basically similar to what Continental Airlines is.
Okay.
It's just the building next to a football building.
Got it.
So that should be fun. Anyway, speaking of football, are we all excited for the Lamar Jackson MVP award?
Yeah,
I mean, he deserves it.
he definitely does.
When is that? Thursday night?
Probably. I mean, he definitely deserves it. There's no one really out there that would be like, oh, they should give it to this guy.
McCaffrey, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but in the regular season, he did deserve it.
Kyle Juszczyk has said that his wife is not making anything for Taylor Swift this week.
Makes sense.
Why not?
Enemies.
Oh,
What a
That
dumb
makes
question to ask.
I honestly forgot
Well,
Kyle Juszczyk
that-
plays for the 49ers.
Well, listening to Deb's been sending me her clips for me to post on her social, and this one idiot, like 5 of the clips that's next to Deb, he's asked everybody, and I heard Nikki's clip today. This guy asks every player, would they tattoo their quarterback on their body part?
Well, it's national.
Yeah.
It's media day, of course.
No, I
everyone's
know,
doing
I know, but it's not media day. It's just really funny, and it's like you just looking at the player's face on all 5 times, and it's just like, okay. And he's I give him credit.
Somebody asked Travis Kelce today,
Yeah,
who's more likely to get a ring first, the Niners or Taylor Swift?
yeah. I know. It's a joke of a time, but it's really funny. Like I've heard this guy ask the question like 5 times, and then I in the group chat, I'm like, can someone please punch this guy? And they're both like, yeah, this guy has asked that question every single time, every single player we've been to. So I thought that was pretty funny.
The best the other day was the guy asked Mahomes for his Kermit impression, and he's like, "I'm doing it right now."
Yeah. Yeah, he's been going through a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Did you see
not
the?
really.
I posted the clip from Bad Boys. I think it was the second one. Chief going to Martin Lawrence and Will
Yes,
Smith.
that one's so good.
You guys wake up every day and just be like, "How could I make my day miserable?" And the Chiefs, has Patrick Mahomes' name
Right.
over it, and the
it's,
other guys have Jackson and Patrick Mahomes Sr.'s name.
Patrick Mahomes Sr. Yeah.
I said the other night we were with. I was at a charity event and Dan Fisher was there with us, and I said, "Oh no, former Met great Patrick Mahomes Sr. got arrested." And he goes, "He played 1 season." I was like, "Name 3 other teams he played for." He goes, "Okay, fair
Imagine,
enough."
and it was his 3rd DUI. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man. You're rich. You played in the MLB. Your
I wouldn't
son's
call him
Patrick
rich.
Mahomes.
His kid, on the other hand,
Your son's
He's rich.
Patrick Mahomes. Like, what are you
I wouldn't
doing?
say he's the rich one.
He
If
still played in the MLB. Like he's set.
here's the thing, if you're Patrick Mahomes Sr. and your son isn't taking care of you, you didn't do a good job. No offense to him.
Reports suggest that Patrick Mahomes Sr.'s net worth is approximately $10 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And he
And
lives
his
in
son
Dallas,
has like
Texas. And he lives in Texas, so there's no state income tax.
$500 million contract.
And he gets extended every year because
I
they
wonder
have to
when
cut the cap hit.
I wonder when the slap of the wrist of Jackson's gonna happen.
You know what? It must have
Oh,
happened.
he already has it.
It already happened because you haven't seen him a lot this season.
That's what it is. It happened last year because he didn't.
The dancing on the 21, I think, was
Right,
the end of
the
it.
dancing
That's
stopped.
Sean Taylor.
Yeah,
No. He had the sexual assault last year.
Well, that was the end. That was really.
I'm saying I think that was before the everything. All I know is you haven't heard a peep from him this year, and if you watch the quarterback show, he wasn't in it. He was there
it was like the couple of times that they couldn't prevent him.
right where he was just in the room. Like they didn't ask him any questions. It was nothing.
Yeah, well, it's probably
So I think he's already gotten his talking to.
But they made the wife look good, like more humanized. So I think
they
that's
dropped
why...
the 3 felony charges on him. So
I don't think she's as bad as everybody says she is.
No,
she was obnoxious. That's really what it came down to.
yeah,
she
that's
was
really
just
what
obnoxious.
it boils down to. She's the sidekick to Jackson, and it's like, ugh.
But honestly, her and Swift, I think Swift has kind of helped her.
Swift mellowed her out a little bit and like made her humanized.
it was funny because like when Swift first started coming around, you kind of like saw her like being like, "Wait a minute, who's this bitch?"
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
they kind of like started becoming friendly and stuff. So now it's kind of like, all right, they're good. Brittany's less annoying. Her voice is still obnoxious, but at least we don't have to hear it anymore.
Right. But it's also, I know she's not around as much, but especially this week, she'll be like Jason Kelsey's wife and Taylor Swift. You're the worst of the three, so just deal with it. No offense. Just be humble and enjoy the ride.
We need topless Jason Kelsey everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's what we need. We need him retired and tailgating at every
They're both
Eagles
gonna
and
retire,
Chiefs game.
right?
Oh
I don't
yeah,
see-
he definitely is. The way he was crying at the end of the Eagles game.
Oh, but
So-
Travis too. If they win, Travis is retiring. I think.
I don't know.
I don't know if Travis can retire.
He keeps talking about it.
If he does, he does.
You know what it is with them too? They're like their podcast has become really successful to the point where playing isn't really that much of a. They're noticing they could do it off the field.
Okay, they definitely can both do it off the field, but it's a catch-22 that one like your part of the popularity is that people want to hear you talk about the game. The guys
Right.
do.
Right.
And now part of the popularity is that this relationship is not going to be new forever.
Right. That's true.
They can't bank on talking about Taylor Swift for being in a box when you're not playing in a game.
I could see Travis becoming a CBS Grunk where he's
100%.
on the table pregame.
And half of the CBS team is on their contract is up, so they're gonna have to refill that.
They
broadcast.
both can get jobs in media if they wanted them.
I don't see Jason wanting to be a media guy as much. He'd be more of like that fun media guy who does like he would work more
Like
like with
Goose.
the Eli and Payton production and
Right.
try and find something through them to do.
Right. And
Like
Goose.
fun for ESPN Plus where he's not really doing much. Travis, on the other hand, I can see him on a weekly show talking about football and
If I had
Yeah.
to slot them, I would put Travis on CBS and Kelsey with ESPN doing stuff with McAfee. If I had to make
The
it,
thing with Travis, I don't see it. He's a little too. He's not stuffy enough for CBS.
okay, you're not.
he's too fun.
Yeah,
CBS, has
CBS is
fucking
more of that like
Shannon Sharp.
suit.
that's true. They did have Shannon and Dion.
Yeah, but then they got rid of them. Look what happened.
He
They
is
got rid
more
of
of an NFL Network guy. Now that you're saying it, he is more of an like a. If
You
he's
know where
gonna
he'd
do
be
like a
good?
morning show,
Nickelodeon.
no.
See
No,
the
he's
thing.
more of an NFL Network. Like he
Thing
can
now,
go hang out.
I'm shocked that
with that.
Fox hasn't hired Belichick yet because that turned into a Patriots channel real fast.
know. Well, Saban's doing
Yeah, game
Yeah,
day.
he is-
That's gonna be fun.
game day, right? Like consistently game day.
I didn't read the. I just sort
From
of.
what I saw was
the.
SEC.
Okay,
All right, so that means half the season.
Yeah,
yeah,
basically.
pretty much. But he's not going to be
Joins-
sitting there the whole time.
Joins
And-
game day as analyst.
Well,
Right,
oh,
but he's
okay,
just
so
gonna
he'll
pop in.
probably. So know what he's gonna be? He's probably gonna be the guy that does like the good coaches interviews, like whenever Georgia plays, and then whenever Alabama plays, or like a Brian Kelly interview type of thing.
I could
don't
see
know.
that. I could see that.
And then
But
if
also
it's
they're
at,
looking at that. How much longer is Lee Corso really going to be able to sit here?
You just call
well,
Brian Kelly a good
well,
coach?
Lee is at that Ralph Kiner part of his career.
Oh
Right.
my god!
He gives you 3 hours every Saturday, and that's about it.
Listen,
And then if
he's
he
better,
doesn't show up, it's like okay, I
he's
get it.
better than Ralph Kiner.
Yeah, but we're approaching that territory.
No offense to Ralph.
And Pat,
Rest in
obviously, we all love Pat McAfee for the last decade, so it's like, as long as he's still there, it's A+ stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, I
The-
never
the-
understood why did Herb Street have his dog follow him everywhere. He was just getting lonely, and he could do whatever he wants, basically.
yeah.
he makes us. He's one of those guys who makes a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And
No,
also, think
I didn't
about it,
know if it was because he was sick or some sort, and I just never heard of it.
My theory on it was due to the fact that now he has the Amazon game
Right.
also. So it's longer. It's not like he's leaving on a Friday night
right,
and
no.
coming back Sunday or Saturday night.
Yeah, his
It-
schedule is nuts.
He's now gone basically from Wednesday through Sunday. He's not at home. So that would be my guess. part of an agreement type of thing.
And then some
Finn, if you say
Saturdays,
something, you're on mute.
it's crazy. He goes to game day, and sometimes game day is a
I
Fox
take a
game.
drink. Sorry.
So he private jets to the game of the night.
Right, because he does the game day and then he flies out to whatever game he's going to.
So some weekends are even crazier.
Right, it's insane. Then they'll do like a game day in Oregon for the Oregon Washington game, but he'll be calling the Florida State Georgia game on the other side of the country.
Yeah, he does do a lot of shit. I don't, you know. I feel like if
I mean, in fairness, nobody really watches the Amazon games.
yeah, the Amazon games don't really count.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Friday night week 1?
Friday night week 1 in like Brazil or whatever it is.
You know what? I said to my coworker, I was like, I want that game. Let us beat that game. We can't beat them in Philly. Let's try and do it in Brazil.
Yeah, somebody said the Eagles are so bad they don't even want them playing in the country anymore. I like that one.
That is kind of crazy that they are like. It's just like,
I get it. They want to expand the game,
but it's just like enough. When's enough?
It's got to be a division matchup, right? Or does
not necessarily. It's got to be what's going to be best for TV.
So fucking, I don't know.
Cowboys.
I mean, yeah.
No, but if I'm Philly, I would be pissed that they would make it a Cowboy game, and that means
I'd be pissed no matter who they pick.
But I'd rather them not play a division game.
Yeah,
like,
you
can't have a division
so
game.
their home schedule next year is the division, of course. The Falcons, the Panthers.
Send the Falcons.
Panthers. You can send the Panthers. No one's going to watch them. Cleveland is an interesting one. Pittsburgh. Nobody wants to watch them.
No, that would be a good game. No, they're not getting rid of that rivalry.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can't leave that instant rivalry. Are we hosting Pittsburgh next year?
We're
going to Pittsburgh.
Damn, we got the Ravens and
the Bengals.
That's
right. I forgot Donnie mentioned that to me. Commanders, guys. Packers are at home next year. Here you go. Jaguars. Send them to Brazil. Week 1.
But do you send the Jags to Brazil when they're gonna be in London for 5
No, you can't send them in 2 countries.
Do they ever play in Jacksonville? Does it matter where they play?
Although, how much longer is the flight to Brazil than like Texas?
I mean, you're right. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I would be like, what the hell, man?
Why Brazil? That's a weird fucking spot.
And know how hot that's gonna be? Like they
Okay.
couldn't have waited to December for that game. Unless the place is a dome, which I highly doubt.
Who knows?
It might be.
I was about to say it could have something to do with the World Cup, but I realized that's not till later in the year, right?
Maybe it's promotion kind of thing for the World Cup. I don't know.
Let's see. According to American Airlines, it's loading. The flight from from Philly to Brazil. If you leave at 3:45 Philly, you get there at 5:15 in Brazil.
That tells me nothing about how long it takes.
A.M.
Oh.
3:45 p.m. to 5:15 a.m. It's like a 12-hour flight.
What the fuck? Where is Brazil? Am I that dumb?
Yeah, it's South America.
I know it's in South America. That's why I said Texas. I just went south.
But you got to realize there's a time difference also.
No, well, you're going back. I'm looking at it. You're going, it's backwards. It's not forwards in time.
Right.
So it depends on the time of the year.
Okay, now
the flight time from United States to Brazil is approximately 9 hours and 3 minutes, depending on where you go.
That makes more sense.
But their time zone is weird down there because it's like so close to the equator.
Well, yeah, it's basically at the equator.
I was told there would be no geography.
Right now, it's
involved in this.
2 hours ahead of us.
Right, that's what it is. Because it's
But
like I
it's
said,
got multiple time zones, so it all depends on. I'm going based on Sao Paulo. Right now, it's 10:40 at night. 2 hours ahead.
right.
But like, when our clocks change, something about their clock goes back an hour behind us. I think it is.
That makes no sense at all. Brazil sounds like a place that I don't understand. And they don't like football there.
They do like football. It's just not American football.
Okay. I'm looking at a map here. It just has, I'd rather play a game in fucking Egypt than in Brazil.
Listen,
This doesn't make any sense. Whenever I
after
have
all
to
those
Google
years of
map of the
Germany
world,
football
I
league.
know it's trouble.
Back to this week's game.
Maps are dumb.
Maps are dumb.
Who we
Back
got?
to this week's game.
What's the spread? What do you think of the spread?
2.5.
It's 2.5.
Right?
But 2.5.
Niners.
Right.
Niners.
What do you think about that?
Well, they
It
are
makes
the
sense.
better team.
On paper, they're the better team.
Okay.
I was talking about it's a much different team than 4 years ago.
I mean, yeah, 4 years ago, sure.
I mean, if you look at, like my buddy at work says, like, look at the Niner offense, take away Garoppolo and the Purdy argument, Emmanuel
yeah, they were-
Sanders was the number one receiver and basically the only receiver on that Niners team.
What?
That 2020 Niners team
Was
Debo's rookie year.
2020. Debo's rookie year. They were running.
Technically it was a 2019 season.
Yes, it was 2019 season.
That
They
year
were
was
running
Bosa's
like
rookie
Elijah
year,
Mitchell.
Debo's rookie year.
Kittle was there, and
Kittle was there
established.
for a couple years already.
Yeah, he was established.
Jimmy G was the quarterback. CJ Beathard was the backup. Like,
Right.
the running backs were Breida and Tavon Coleman and Morset.
Raheem Mostert. Yeah, he had the big game in the championship game.
Richie James was on that team. Dante Pettis. Their wide receivers: Kareem Bork, Richie James, Jordan Matthews, Dante Pettis, Debo, and Emmanuel Sanders.
I mean, yeah, it's not even close. And they were about to win that game.
Right. Now, their defense has a bunch of guys that are still there, but still, I would take this year's defense over that team any day.
I just saw this on Twitter. This is cool.
Demetri Moore was on their last team, Danny.
Yeah, it was like, who won the Super Bowl the year you're born, the year
Yeah.
you turned 14, and then the year you graduated high school.
Now, are you talking about like the season?
See,
or
that's
like...
what I just tweeted out. If it's the season, it's the Washington. If it's the year, it's the Giants for me. Then it was Patriots for me.
Because 87 season was Washington.
Right.
But the Super Bowl that was played
was, yeah.
No, it's
a couple
season.
months
You guys
after.
get Washington. Sorry.
That means I got Washington. Steve's got the Washington won back to back.
No, Niners. I get the Niners.
Niners.
98 was the Niners.
I think I get No. I might get Washington too. Who's the
What year?
other team that beat the Bills?
Was Washington or Dallas?
Washington, the Giants, Washington, Dallas, and Dallas.
It's what I get Washington. Then. 91 is Washington because 90 is the Giants, and then 92 and 3 are the Cowboys.
Yep, and Steve.
So 91 Washington.
So Steve for 14 got the Buccaneers.
Correct.
When I turned 14.
No, it was the third one, Danny.
The year you graduated high school, so you got
2006.
you have the Steelers.
I got the Patriots, and then I graduated in 09, and it was the Saints. Washington, Patriots, Saints.
Jesus Christ, it's been 20 years since I graduated high school.
Here we go with time again. Here we go. What is time again? Here we go.
Well, no, if we're going NFL season, Danny, right? 2006. The Super Bowl was played in
That's the Colts.
2007. Was the Colts.
06 season was the Colts.
Shit. Okay, so that means I got the Steelers then.
Yeah. Ha.
05 season was the Steelers. Yeah.
Because that's right. 04 was the year we graduated. I graduated high school, and that was the Eagles losing to the Pats. So
No, you
whatever.
didn't graduate 2 years before me.
No, that's what I'm saying. 04, but in my head, I remember that being senior year of high school. Is what I'm saying.
Right, you started senior year of high school 04, 05.
Right.
My senior year was 05, 06.
Oh, I got it wrong. Oh well. But the Patriots are a dynasty, and no one's gonna be looking it up anyway.
I got the Colts and I got Prince.
Yeah, that was a good one. One
And
of the best halftime shows.
Was it the Prince? Yeah, no, because Bruce was the year after the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't remember any halftime shows. I couldn't care less.
I remember the Prince one because it's been on. I've seen clips of it on.
Yeah, that was a
TikTok.
good
It's
one.
of
And the
like the
pouring
greatest
rain,
of
and
all
they
time.
I
did
mean,
Purple
I know
Rain.
it was one. I don't know what year it happened.
Purple Rain. Yeah, it was raining. And
Right. That I remember.
It
but
was
I don't
Prince,
remember years.
Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen.
yeah, and I like the Lady Gaga one. Was crazy. I
Petty,
don't remember
Petty,
which Super Bowl that was.
Tom
you know
Petty
what?
did the Giants. The first
Yeah, the Super Bowl
for the Giants.
42, and then Madonna did 46. But
The
I couldn't
Gaga
tell you-
one was the Falcon one. Falcon Patriot 28-3. I
Right,
think.
Gaga ruined the Falcons.
And then I
'Cause
remember
the jumping
and I
off
mean,
the
I remember
stadium.
Beyonce with the Ravens one.
Right, that
'cause
was
she
the
Blew out the
blackout.
power.
Yeah, the power went out.
And I remember the Giants Ravens because that was with Britney Spears.
That was the
Nelly,
Britney
NSYNC,
Spears, yeah.
and that
So-
was the only.
Yeah, and I think 2002.
Oh,
the
2001 was U2. That was a good one for 9/11.
2002
was the
was
Britney,
the-
was the
Janet Jackson,
Jackson,
and
Houston,
Timberlake
in
one.
Houston, the
Yeah.
Carolina, New England Super Bowl.
Right. I literally turned away and missed it.
I remember
People
hearing
were like,
about
holy crap, we just saw Janet Jackson's boob. I'm like, what? No, what? Damn it, missed it.
It's really actually very like if that happened today.
the Super
One,
Bowl
that
would be
would be
canceled.
crazy. Two, Timberlake, you would have never heard from him again. And he went on to have a great career after that.
He's got a new album out. They're coming
He's
out.
great.
Anyone could talk about Taylor Swift's album, but
Great dude. Love him.
JT's album.
And his free concert at one of the city's theaters. I forgot which one.
Crazy.
That's
Crazy.
gonna be bananas of all the girls 35
Did
years
it? It
old.
was like
and
2
all
weeks
that.
ago.
Already happened.
Yeah,
That was
he
one
did.
of
It was
the
like the
most-
day of his birthdays.
When I took Nicole to Backstreet Boys in 2019, that was literally one of the most saddest events of all time.
Really?
Because it was just like we're old now. Like the girls are like bringing their kids, and like there's
I
like you're
suppose.
either not married or you have kids. It's just like this. Is...
Well, was it?
And she
that?
was pregnant with Johnny, so it was like really fun.
Was it that, or was it New Kids on the Block? Melissa and Teresa were right, and Melissa told Teresa, like, I can't drink alcohol tonight. I'm having a kid. It was one of them at the Coliseum.
You're getting old. It's getting old. Stuff.
Yeah, well, and that they're a generation of before Backstreet Boys.
Right.
Yeah.
they're doing
Shout out
AARP.
to my sister. Happy birthday to her.
They're doing AARP.
Oh, happy birthday.
I texted her and said, "You're old today. You're 39."
Jeez.
I completely was like trying to figure it out, and then I was like, "Oh, crap,
was me.
Melissa and
Your
Rosen
sister's
are
always been
39
young.
this year."
Your sister's always been nothing but nice to me. That G's was not warranted, but 39 is gonna hurt.
At least she's not gonna watch, so it's fine.
Right?
a good
She's not gonna
point.
listen.
Yeah, she's not gonna.
Braden will tell her tomorrow what we said. Okay.
Yeah.
So Braden's up with the iPad right now.
That's
listening.
a little long break.
No, I think it's weird. San Fran should win, but Patrick Mahomes as an underdog is just like you can't.
It feels off.
It's weird because also it's you could say that we've watched the Chiefs been doing this for a couple years now, but ideally this is the first time it's kind of different because they went on the road for 2 weeks and did this.
Right.
He's never been on the road.
At the end of the season, I remember texting Snacks and you guys when the Kansas City won their last game. We're like, oh, this is after they lost on Christmas. We're like, all right, they're still going to be that team that doesn't deserve to make a playoff Super Bowl run and they're going to make the Super Bowl. Sure enough, they did.
And it looks like our boy Kadarius won't be dressed again because they took some receiver off.
He won't be dressed, or he will.
He won't be. It looks like because I think Hardman was.
I still can't.
Taken off the injury.
If the Andre Baker was not a complete bust for us, Kadarius Toney would have been the worst draft pick that Dave Gettleman, first round draft pick Gettleman said.
Yeah, it's not.
At least Toney played into his second season.
Dave Gettleman.
Did he play? Because technically he didn't play a full season for the Giants.
Well, he actually suited up for a game in the second season, unlike DeAndre Baker.
Oh my god!
It was kind of weird watching Corey Ballantyne being basically the number one receiver cornerback in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Corey Ballantyne was not bad. I'll tell you that right now.
As a Giant, he wasn't.
I mean, he was the 7th round pick, and they were expecting him to actually play.
Well, that's because Gettleman was known for never signing cornerback.
Oh, look at this! I got a sleeper alert. Matt Rule on Brock Purdy. When I was in the draft room in Carolina, I brought his name up and I said, "Hey guys, he should be drafted, be on the draft board," and I got vetoed on that one.
No, you didn't.
Oh, that's just like Ben. That's like Ben McAdoo saying that he wanted to draft Patrick Mahomes for the Giants.
Great, sure.
Listen, this is proof. It just helps out Ben McAdoo though, because Mac Jones' career is about to go off because McAdoo was hired today by the New England Patriots.
McAdoo running the ship.
Well, like Clem said,
senior offensive assistant.
Like Clem,
nope. It doesn't matter what his hair looks like.
Like Clem, yeah. Well, no, it's a big difference because when
depends on the suit. Does it fit or does it not fit? Because we all knew his career was downhill.
Because his hair, his first year was a mess. I didn't care, and then the second you saw it slick back, we're like, uh-oh. Someone saw his press clippings in the off season, and sure enough, he did.
I mean, you mean to tell me he didn't watch the press clippings from his first interview, his intro interview with the suit that was 10 times the size on him?
Yeah. Hair all slick back, and then talking about Lions having sex. We should have knew we were doomed that season.
This is so.
What a preview of the Super Bowl. We're just
Ben McAdoo, 11-5, doesn't finish the next season.
Yeah, but since Coughlin, that's basically been the thing for the Giants.
No, he's the only one that didn't finish the season.
He's the only one, but it's basically been a good year, a bad year, a new guy.
Well,
Dable's the first guy who's getting into the third year since Coughlin.
Yep. And that story is bizarre, too.
I'm still trying to figure out who's running our offense.
It's going to be Kafka, technically.
Oh!
Technically.
Mike Kafka in charge at the helm.
I'm sorry. He's not a bad coach. He's diced your team up with Tommy DeVito. And we literally woke you guys up for a playoff win.
Also,
I'm sure he's a fine coach. It's still like...
Listen, he was one of the sought-out offense coordinators. We just told everyone to go F themselves. You can't have him.
I just hear Mike Kafka, and I think backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So he
Mike Gifton.
It's like Ken Dorsey. Like, I think joke.
See, that was where I was kind of surprised. I know he got fired in Buffalo. Well, but when they went into the offseason and they were quote unquote figuring things out, knowing Ken Dorsey was available and knowing that he was the guy they wanted when they first hired Dayball and Shane, I was kind of surprised they didn't just pull the trigger and bring him in.
Well, because it went so poorly, I think.
I don't know if it's because it went so poorly, but still, like, maybe they could have been thinking, oh, when him and Dayball were together in Buffalo, everything was great. Let's see if we could rekindle that type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
The other thing is, defensively, I'm kind of shocked Vrabel's not taking a defensive coordinator spot.
I don't think. I think it's too.
I get it. It's kind of
Good.
degrading to go that way.
Yeah.
But he's the guy who's going to be the top of the list for next season.
Right. So
At this moment, he's the top of the list for next season. He's above Belichick and Pete Carroll, in my opinion, because of his age.
sure. But yeah, I think he just waits. You know, what's his
Listen,
name?
I would have been, and I know it's unprecedented, but I would have been okay with giving him the defensive coach and saying, here, we're going to write in your contract. If somebody fires their coach in the middle of the season and they call you and they want you to come coach the team for the rest of the year or come become the head coach for next season, best of luck. We'll let you go.
Tough.
It's a tough thing to do, but still.
No, I think he'll take a year. Like McCarthy did the same thing.
He's
Take a
waiting for
year.
the Cowboy job. Wait a year and waiting for McCarthy to get fired next year.
He
to keep
could.
Cowboys.
He maybe he does the exact same thing.
That's what Belichick's doing, apparently.
I don't. There's no chance Belichick will ever take the Cowboy job.
I want Belichick and Jerry Jones on the sideline at the same time at the end of the game.
It'll never happen.
Disappointed in the postseason together.
No, he didn't do that for Parcells.
Everyone came to their senses, and Bill didn't go to Atlanta. Everybody realized that wasn't going to work.
Well, they said when he showed up, he scared them off because he wanted control of the front office. And
Okay,
everyone
well,
was like, no.
he shouldn't.
But
He's
he
not
also,
a GM anymore.
but he also saw like he has the pick of the litter, and he's
But
like,
it's also the Falcons.
yeah, I don't want to go to the Falcons.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but Jay Glazer reporting that he's interested in a project type of team, and the Falcons are that project type of team.
Why? Oh, why, Bill?
I'm glad he didn't go to the Falcons.
I said the team to watch for next year with him is New Orleans.
Nah.
They're that team that can draft a quarterback late this year to go behind Carr, or look to draft one next year, and if they don't make the playoffs, he's out. There's probably gonna be an opening there.
I don't see it.
But again, we're also thinking about openings. For all we know, these guys are waiting to see if Andy Reid gets another ring and retires.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is
Vrabel sitting back and thinking, okay, Andy Reid gets a ring.
I think
he calls it quits. And
I think Andy Reid rides it all out, and as long as Mahomes until he's able to want to retire with Mahomes.
Right.
Reid's been around a long time. How many more?
I mean, that
somebody
hasn't
put
been
out a
long.
meme that said Andy Reid looks like the guy from The Simpsons. Looks like Homer Simpson when he stands by a donut box and he goes, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Yeah, but Homer Simpson takes one, while Andy Reid takes the box."
Right.
But still, I don't know. There's always talks about Reid retiring every year at this point. Every time they're in the Super Bowl. So the question is, what is
This
Reid?
is the first time I've ever heard anybody mention Andy Reid.
Yeah, I think, and like you said, like Danny said, as long as he's got Mahomes, he's not going anywhere.
Maybe he goes into the front office. Gets off the sideline, goes in the front office, hires Vrabel, and says, "All right."
Their front office is doing a fine job. They just keep going to Super Bowls.
I don't know what happened to Zergachev on the Lightning, but he got carted off the ice.
That's not great.
Crying. He was crying, sitting up, but crying.
Okay, so that's probably a knee injury. If I had to guess, it's usually a reaction.
I really don't like these Ranger third jerseys. Anywho, all right. So, are we repeating Let's not repeat. I don't want to repeat. Why? Because the last time this Super Bowl matchup happened and the Chiefs won, then we
COVID
had
happened.
3 months of a vacation time. The whole world shut down. Let's not do that again.
Yeah. Well, I also blame it on Jimmy G.
I mean, it's not his fault that
COVID?
Tyreek got wide open. You can't blame him for Tyreek getting
Well,
wide
he
open.
did have the game-winning throw to Emmanuel Sanders, and he just
Yeah, he did.
I thought you were
But again-
blaming Jimmy
But
for
again,
COVID.
that goes back to imagine that throw, but
well, they
Debo
blew a
now.
10-point lead. Yeah, they
Right.
see that's the thing. I don't trust Kyle Shanahan in a big spot like that. We've seen it time and time again. But last
Listen,
week,
they came back twice in the playoffs so far
yeah,
to
they
win
did.
game.
This year finally will be it. See, it's so weird. It's just like,
It hasn't been good from them. That as good as it
and their defense has sucked the last couple of
yeah.
months. It's just going to be interesting. The way the Chiefs have been playing is up for recipe of disaster for the Niners. But
The other-
the Niners have come back multiple times from a touchdown or 10 points, so they can do it. But it's just they've more game controlled with Mahomes, especially on how much better the defense has played in the playoffs. So that's what they did. That's what they did with the Ravens.
They controlled the
The
team. They
Ravens
controlled the game.
literally, the Ravens had the game in their hands and they completely blew it. So
Again, I said this the day after the championship games. The two teams that lost the games themselves. It's not like the Chiefs and the Niners really won those games. It felt more like it was the other way around. The other teams lost that game. Lions were up what 24.
yeah, that was
7.5.
27.
and if they kick a fucking field goal, this
Right.
wouldn't have been.
The game's
Yeah.
over.
See, like see, that's the thing with Dan Campbell, is he's done it all year, so you can't really be mad at him. But in that spot, you got to do it. You're already up big. Just tack on the points.
Well, but the same thing happened in the Packer game. If he just makes that kick, it's a tie game at best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sky Moore was the one that got off the injury list, I believe, this week.
Oh,
okay.
he's playing over Kadarius Toney.
100%.
It's not even close.
He's been there the whole time.
Well, they
Was
were
it-
there together last year, and it was cool to see Rice to step up.
Yeah, Sky Moore activated off the IR today.
See, that's another thing. I trust Spags in a big game, and Andy Reid having 2 weeks to prepare against
For
the
Brock
Niners
Purdy.
defense. Yeah, Brock Purdy with Spags, and then we've seen the Chiefs do crazy trick plays in the Super Bowl multiple times. That since Andy Reid has had 2 weeks to prepare, but the Niners do have CMC.
Yeah, but like we said, the
They
Chiefs
also
defense
have-
has been one of their strengths.
They also have 2 weeks to get Debo healthy.
Right.
Trent Williams did not practice today, but that was just because he's like 75 years old, so they gave him a day off. Again, another difference, that offensive line in San Francisco is a lot different than it was a couple years ago. I mean, they had Joe Stanley, Hall of Famer, but still, Trent Williams is a different beast when it comes to that line.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think the 2019 game matters too much in this sense.
No, it doesn't. We're just busting balls.
Right. It's just
Because then again,
But that's what
Kansas
you
City-
do because it's so
but
close.
Kansas
You
City
keep pairing
isn't that
it.
high flying offense anymore either.
right.
Right,
The Chiefs,
there's no
neither
Tyreek,
team
there's
is
no-
really the same team.
Now the Chiefs can't come back from 10 points down.
No.
Can they not though?
They can,
You-
but they're
you
not
mean-
that.
you mean to
they're
tell
not
me
that team.
If
You
you're
know what
down
I'm saying?
10,
They're
They
not
can, but
built
they don't
like-
want to.
Yeah, it's not their style.
they're a team that needs to be playing up.
Like they're giving the
Yeah.
Pacheco the ball more, and it's more
Right.
controlled base.
They're definitely going to be able. I think that this is going to be a team that's definitely going to be able to control Kelsey a lot better.
Right.
than
Kelsey
anybody
isn't
else.
that game. Kelsey isn't that game changer anymore, and they don't have that guy to blow the top off like Tariq was. Like Scantling a little bit, but that's like one play a game.
Right.
And then Rice has been good. He's woke up. Well, he's stepped up.
Who knows what Sky Moore is going to bring this week? He's just coming off the injured list.
Right.
You know, it's their running game that's really going to.
Yeah. Pacheco. He reminds me of Mod Bradshaw, the way he runs.
Just tiny guy who just runs.
Dog. As long as he doesn't have the. Oh, speaking of that, I forgot to put in our group. Brandon Jacobs' son committed to Clemson.
Yes, he did. But that was a verbal commitment, I believe.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, how old is his son?
I think
It
his
has to
son
be
has got one
junior.
more year of
Yeah,
college,
it has to be a
of high
junior.
school.
Oh, okay.
He's a left tackle.
Wow.
Because they were
But obviously, he's Brandon Jacobs' son, so he's been getting like recruited since like 8th
yeah,
grade.
but Brendan Jacobs also committed to Auburn.
Well, yeah, he wasn't getting playing time in Auburn. And let's face it, he wasn't the smartest guy in school, so they're probably like, "All right, Brandon."
Oh, ouch. Just call Brandon Jacobs stupid.
I mean, he also had wasn't that the year of Ronnie Brown and
Yeah, it was Ronnie Brown and Cadillac. He wasn't getting playing time. It's just like Alvin Kamara not playing in Alabama, and then he went to Tennessee State.
And Joe Burrow not playing in Ohio State.
Right.
I'm trying to see.
And Justin Fields in Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, he's a junior offensive tackle in Georgia right now. Is Jacob's son.
Oh, I'm thinking of Hurts. You
said Hurts went to Alabama. And
Hurts
then
was
Oklahoma.
Alabama, and then went
Oklahoma. Speaking of college guys and coaches, what's Washington giving up to move up one spot to take Caleb Williams at 1?
Rio
Cliff
said
is the offensive coordinator there in Washington.
Rio said if Washington moves up to get Caleb, he's gonna cry on air. I didn't realize
you're selling a house for one spot. I mean, is it worth?
I didn't realize he's from the area.
Caleb?
He's from DC, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Caleb is from DC. I didn't realize that. So that's just like
it's all falling into the place where, like I said a couple weeks ago, new ownership.
Right.
Perfect scenario to make a splash.
Right.
Bring the kid in. He's getting his coach.
Right.
Yeah, but his coach stinks.
No, his coach is the one that helped him win in Arizona, in USC. It's after they fired him, he sucked this year.
I don't think he's that great of a coach, I'll be honest. I know he's just the offensive coordinator, but I still don't think
he did help Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I suppose. But he seemed, I don't know. The Cardinals were not.
They had a 4-foot quarterback. Give him a break.
Which he picked.
That's true. Fair enough. Fair.
I mean, I didn't
pick a taller quarterback.
I don't think Kyler's that good.
No, Kyler's fine. I just don't like Cliff Kingsbury, to be honest.
No, I don't think he's anything special, but offensively, he's going to be fine.
I think he's just current day Josh McDaniels, if I'm being frank.
Listen, the Bears are in an interesting spot there because you can move back a spot. Somebody said to me, you move back the spot, right? You take the house from Washington, whatever
you get Harris,
because you're probably going to flip ones, get probably a 2 or 3 also next year. You could probably get out of it, and probably next year's one also, right? But then
I would say it's something like that.
If your staff believes in Fields, you take the offensive tackle from Notre Dame if he's the one you love,
or
the Penn State one
from Penn State, yeah.
Because now you're protecting. Now you're giving him a protection.
Or you get Harrison, and then you have Harrison and Moore together.
Yeah. You take Harrison.
I think the Lions line got better, right?
The
Because
line got better throughout the year, but
then
you're
theoretically,
talking about a Eric Fisher type of
then again,
offensive tackle is what they're talking
right?
about.
But then again, you can get with your own pick that offensive lineman.
Right. They have 9.
Yeah, but the key is that.
But then again, you can get a Doomsday at 9 unless
Right,
he goes.
The Penn State guy.
No, you
No,
can get the
Doomsday
receiver
is
from
the
Washington.
Oh, I'm thinking what the Penn State lineman that nobody can pronounce his name.
Right. That guy.
Fusano.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting one. We'll get into the draft later on in the year, of course. Combine's what, March?
Yeah, in a couple weeks, actually.
The Giant news, of course, as we all knew, they weren't going to franchise tag Saquon, letting him go into free agency.
That's the right move.
It's not even just the right move. Even if they want to, even if they announce, when the league opens, quote unquote, that they signed him to a contract, that's fine with me. I'm fine with that. If I'm going to use my franchise tag on anybody, give it to Xavier McKinney and work out a contract with him.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. What's what would be the franchise tag on a safety? Is he considered a corner?
No, he's a safety.
Okay, no, I didn't know if it's a different. If secondary has
Snack
one.
said it was a lot of money on the show Monday night. So once he said that, it was like, no, he's not getting that money.
Last year's tag on a safety was 14.4.
Yeah, no, McKinney's not getting that money.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay him that kind of money. You're just gonna get it so he doesn't get into free agency.
Right, but
you give him that, and then you say, "Listen, we're going to give you 7 a year."
Give me that much money. I want that much money, though. Why are you gonna negotiate against yourself?
Yeah, it doesn't seem worth it.
Like, he needs to be back, but I don't see him getting franchised.
Is there anybody that can be franchised? It's worth it, though.
Not on the team right now, no.
You don't technically have to use it.
No, you don't.
No, right? You just sit there.
So what are we saying? I'm gonna go. My boy Jake Moody hits a field goal. Down 2, wins the game.
So
Jesus, these safety contracts are crazy.
Yeah, I could see him being like Landon Collins and Jabril Peppers. Like
Harrison Smith makes 19.2. Derwin James makes 19.8. Quandre Diggs in Seattle makes 21.
None of those guys have done anything in the last 3
Minka
years.
makes 23. The highest paid safety 2024 cap dollars, $26.9
That's why it's $14 million. Look at all those guys.
Jamal Adams rocking it at the top of the list, baby.
20.
When
Seattle's always stupid. He's getting cut.
When me and Snacks heard it was $14 million, I was like, Snacks, you had to read that wrong. Because someone asked that question, I was like, $14 million? There's no way Xavier McKinney's getting that money.
That's just overall safety. I don't know.
There's going to be a team that overpays him for that money. But
so Jamal Adams has the 20. Will have a 26 cap hit unless he does have an out that will turn into. He has 2 years left, but he has an out that would turn into a 3-year deal.
Only the Jets. That trade was such a good trade, and then you don't really hear. Well, I guess they got.
The Jets
they
won that
Wilson.
trade.
Well, I know they won it, but like it was Wilson, right? Pretty sure it was a Wilson pick.
Let's recap. Finally paying.
That's who they got with the draft pick. Pretty sure Wilson, not Zach. Garrett.
Vera Tucker.
Okay, yeah, but he was hurt last year.
And Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won that trade.
I mean, they won the trade getting rid of Jamal Adams.
Right.
Right. They won it as soon as they were like, thank you for not making us pay him.
What a disaster.
He'll probably be a cap cut this season.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's not getting paid that money, but
That's what
these
it's on
contracts
schedule
are
to be.
crazy.
If they cut him, it goes from 26 to 20.
All right.
Right. It goes from 26 to 20. 27 next year goes down to 10. And actually, the third year actually backs up to 20. Apparently. Oh, no. Potential out. Adds a third year, just paying him for the third year. Okay. So, it makes sense to just let him go.
Well, let him go to free agency and then work on a deal.
Right, that's the hope.
Dan Quinn would love a player like that to come play linebacker for him.
Here we
And
go again.
no money. Listen, Dan Quinn's going to build the offense, and they're going to let Kiff run the defense. So, talk about a guy falling off the face of the earth. The Chiefs' old offensive coordinator.
The other way around.
What?
You said Dan Quinn's going to build the offense and Kiff's going to build it.
Right, yeah. But still, they just told the Chiefs coordinator to go fuck himself.
Which is unfortunate for that guy.
I mean, he went from Patrick Mahomes to Sam Howell. What
Yeah,
did people really
Sam
expect?
Howell was not that bad.
What did people really expect that?
Sam Howell's going to be like, I don't want to say Minshew, but he's going to be like Mike Lennon. He's just going to roll around the league a
years to
bunch
come.
of times. Yeah, forever. We'll be hearing Sam Howell's name forever.
Someone said that the Dolphins are going to pick up the offensive coordinator, because Tyreek wants him.
But see
I
that,
was like, but they already have a good offense.
right?
Why
Their
would
coach is the offensive coordinator. So
why
it's
would you
like
screw with their offense?
He's just there to fuck around.
The only way to get better is to make sure, Waddle doesn't get hurt.
Or get a new quarterback.
Or get a guy who knows where he is every week. Alrighty. So I got San Francisco field goal, wins the game at the end. McCaffrey MVP. I'm gonna go with McCaffrey MVP.
Okay. Come on, Niners. I don't know. I feel weird. I'm flip-flopping 30 times. I think watching the clips that Deb and Nikki have gotten, and I watched them all, obviously, it just seems right now it's the Niners Super Bowl to win. So I think it's finally their chance to win this year.
I can't root for the Niners.
I hear you.
So, excuse me,
I
go
think
Chiefs.
Okay.
And it's Mahomes MVP. I mean, it's
right. And then
They're
I'm
gonna
going.
win. It's gonna be him.
And then I'm
if
gonna.
he wins, is gonna be it.
Obviously, I'm gonna be the same, and I think it's gonna be. Then with that, I think it's gonna be CMC as well, because whenever CMC gets it going, it's him. Unless some way somehow Debo just has a crazy.
I could
Debo.
see Debo or Ayuk in there.
See, with Ayuk, he's awesome and good, but
it depends on Ayuk. Depends on if Debo's playing / are they taking Debo away.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Ayuk's gonna get number one wide receiver money, and he deserves it. But every time we've watched him, some games it's like, where's Brandon Ayuk?
He's that guy you put the money on every week to have a big game, and those are the weeks he has the worst games.
Yes,
he doesn't have the consistency yet. He doesn't have the consistency yet.
Yeah, he's a free agent at the end of the year. He's probably going to get tagged, if anything.
Makes sense.
Listen, the other thing they got to start thinking about in that team is $19 million to tag him if he does get tagged.
I mean,
well, that was last year's number.
I mean, he gets that off the
Right.
market.
He'll probably get that he'll probably get that in Jacksonville in the market.
Some team's going to overpay him.
But see, they're an interesting team, because now you're starting to think, if you win this week, and let's just say Brock wins the MVP award, he's walking into OTAs and saying, "All right, I got 2 years left. What do you want to do to me? What do you want to do with my contract?"
All right, this year too.
I got people working at the supermarket making more money than me. What am I doing here?
You're right.
So, I mean, he may be the guy who understands it and waits the one more year, but he may also start saying like, "Hey, put it in your mind that after this year you need to pay me."
And like I mentioned before, watching the Kyle Shanahan clips the last couple of days, he has all the confidence in the world. I know he looks awesome right now that Mr. Irrelevant is the starting quarterback for a Super Bowl team, but like he has all the confidence in the world with him. So I could see them getting it done.
Again, he has no reason not to be. Look at what, again, 2 straight comeback wins. He's the quarterback of that team. He's the number 1 seed, you know? He's got no reason not to be confident. He had every reason to come into the season unconfident, coming off the arm injury.
All right.
But he's done his part, you know. My friend keeps trying to make the argument that he's the most valuable player in the league.
No, he's not.
But, you know, that's just a
I mean,
Niner fan.
Yeah, I mean,
I said I actually said this to him. I said my least favorite thing about the NFL is how the MVP is basically an offensive player of the year award.
yeah,
Because if you're going to look at the most valuable player on the 49ers, a lot of people are going to say McCaffrey, but a lot of people are going to say Fred Warner.
right. It's fair.
Sure.
Because without him in the middle of that defense, who knows what they're doing? As good as their defense
And
is,
Greenlaw is great too.
Greenlaw is good, but Fred Warner is the anchor of that
No,
defense.
I agree with you. I'm just saying the
Okay.
two of them together.
And it's crazy to think that Lawrence Taylor's the last defensive player to ever win an MVP in the NFL.
Yeah,
Well, it's the only one that's ever gonna do it. No one's.
Right, because the MVP
You gotta
is
have
basically
like
an
30
offensive player of the
sacks
year
to
award.
win an MVP right now.
The MVP award is an offensive player of the year award.
Well, honestly, what would it take for a defensive player to win the MVP? Like a 10 interceptions, all returned for touchdowns or something?
What's
I
his
don't know.
name in Dallas? Had what was it, 6, 7
I
pick
think he had
sixes
6.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to have a pick 6 every game. And 10 sacks. Like you had to be something wildly crazy.
and or break Strahan's rookie.
Even that.
Strand sack record.
JJ had 20. Not JJ. TJ had 20 sacks like 2 years ago.
All right.
Yeah. Didn't even get wasn't even a finalist.
Yeah, that shit has to change.
Or just get rid of the MVP award. Just say, all right, here's your offensive player of the year. Here's your defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I don't know, basically.
Because you're basically giving out 2 offensive player of the year awards. The guy with the best stats and the guy you think was the best. And again, I'm not saying Lamar wasn't the MVP of the league, because at the end of the day, the numbers may not be there, but if he's not on the field for Baltimore, they're 0-16. They're not winning a lot of those games without him.
But that's true of a lot of people.
You're right. You're 100% right. But they were a number 1 seed, so that's why he gets that above all those other guys.
Sure.
But he finally put it all. Well, he did win MVP a couple years ago, but he did put it all together once again and played all the games this year. So, other than the last game of the year, that was because of rust. So. All right, boys, enjoy your Super Bowl.
Super Bowl Sunday is here. Enjoy it, everybody. Don't forget, share this episode with everybody. We are raising money for Cycle for Cancer this year. Really excited. A good friend MJ is got a team together. I believe they do it in like March or April. One of the two is when they do it every year. We're just trying to do our cause. $3 for every share. So make sure, click the link in our bio, click the link on our social media bio, click the link on the YouTube video bio, the Spotify, Apple Podcast bio, everything. Make sure you click that link and go donate if you want to on your own, and also share this episode so we can donate $3 for every view we get. With that being said, like we said, enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody.